What's going on, guys? Welcome. My name is Chris, aka RipplePack92, and you are watching This is the Waypoint, the one and only Star Wars discussion show right here on the Shared Screens Podcast Network. If you haven't before, drop a little subby, drop a little likey, drop a little belly notification. I know you vibe with Star Wars. You clicked on this. We do a lot of Star Wars talking. If you're watching this when it uploads later this week, we're going to be putting out a video for Tales of the Jedi, or maybe that's early next week with the weekend. I didn't look at the schedule. I'm going to be 100% with you. Whoopsie poopsie. We also just finished House of the Dragon, and Hot D had a really, really great discussion show led by the one and only Jim Tasty, who is also joining us on this show. And we talk about video games and lots of other stuff. So, I mean, drop that little belly. Get to know. There's something for everybody. You know what I mean? 8 out of 10. IGN. Little something for everyone. It makes you feel like you're watching YouTube videos. Joining me today, my co-host is always some other Josh. Jim Tasty, of course, host extraordinaire of some of Shared Screen's most prolific series.
What's up?
I'm liking the beer, man. It's coming in really nicely, dude. Like you
You
got like the fall mountain man. Like you just you put some flannel on, dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's little spicy. And friend of the show, Aaron Roots 427 with the hot Star Wars mug.
Hello again, America.
Hello there. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Aaron Roots 427.
That's me.
I tried to do it to the
Troy
Troy and Abed in the morning. Yeah.
I got
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Yeah.
We got it.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure, because I was like, I put it out there and I was like, I don't know if that landed.
Oh, it landed.
Yeah. I'm amongst my people. Today, we're going to be talking about Andor Episode 8. There's a lot going on in this one. You have a really, really crazy imperial industrial prison system going on. You got space partying, right? You got stormtroopers and stuff. You got Cyril Karn crying some more. It's got to have all of it so far. And we're going to kind of pick apart some of our favorite beats, talk about some notes that I have here in my little handy-dandy notebook. But first, I want to hear what you guys thought of it. Aaron, take it away, man. How did you feel about Andor Episode 8?
Man, this was a very interesting episode, and not interesting as in like, oh, that's different. Interesting as like, wow, they're really doing a great job with the world building in this show and the universe building, I guess. Just seeing like more of how like the Empire works and how like the beginnings of the rebellion are working. It's just really, really interesting and really cool.
Yeah, I got to agree. I think this show has just done an excellent job of just kind of giving us a window into these things that we've sort of always heard about, but never really seen before. And
Right.
and I know it's kind of something. It's almost a hard show to sit here and talk about, because it's so excellent on all fronts that it feels like every week I come here and I'm like, this thing is good, and this thing is good, and this thing is good, and that's the show, right? but it's so cool to get like these ground level things of the rebellion in the Empire and see them in a way that we hadn't before. That it's just sometimes I feel like between video games and books and comics and all this stuff, I'm like, man, I could go outside of the rebellion era stuff at this point, and then a show like Andor comes out, and I'm like, just straighten my veins, just tie it off, and just yeah, I gotta agree with you, Brett. What about you, man? What did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was another great episode. Like Aaron said, the world building was excellent. Again, I keep saying this every week, but the set design and like even like the limited uses of the volume and stuff has been excellent. The story and some of the characters is not going where I expected it to go, and so I'm always like wondering what's going to happen in like a good way, where I'm anticipating what's coming next. Yeah, it's been a brilliant show, and yeah, I don't know how Cassian's going to break out of that prison, but we'll see. I'm sure we'll find out.
And we saw him, spying something else going on, right? Some happenings going on within the prison. Something I noted that I thought was interesting was those prison uniforms, orange and white.
Mm-hmm.
You know who's pretty much always affiliated with the orange and white colors?
Is Cal Kestis?
It's Cal Kestis!
Dude, get it. SEO.
Luke Skywalker shows up in it.
The Fallen Order Conspiracast, where we just always root everything back to Fallen Order. Fallen Order's so rad, dude.
He's gonna kick in the door and then chop K2SO in half. And
yeah, dude.
Oh yeah.
But as far as getting out, I think our boy Melshi's gonna have something to do with that.
I'm so excited to talk to you guys about Melshi. That was one thing. But first, I want to hear from some other Josh. How did you think about?
What did you think about the episode, Josh?
Man, oh man, was this one exhausting. And not because it's an hour long and I have ADHD and I watched it at 2 in the morning.
Right.
But just watching this prison work cycle, there's like, these are 12-hour shifts, the fast editing on the fucking floor, and then looking at his like days, like 1,200 some days before he gets out, like, I was feeling the existential dread that they were putting in this hellish prison. Oh my god. And then not only that, but everything outside the prison is just crumbling. Fucking Andor's mom is sick. Things are not going good for our heroes and our villains because, Karn's, crying and filing 6 reports, and she's like, I still don't fuck with you. Like, yeah, it was so much.
Might be getting a job at the Empire soon, though, so we'll see.
Possibly, yeah, but it was a lot.
Or they'll just be like, please stop emailing me. Holy shit.
Yeah, stop filing requests for fuck's sake.
Exactly.
The way that Andor was standing in the prison, just like I don't know what to do. That's how I've been all week starting this new job.
What is happening?
That feeling,
like I know what that is.
I've worked in a warehouse before too, and so that feeling of this grizzled old dude who was sadly not Andy Serkis, but like this grizzled old dude who just kind of walked in one day, is like, okay, here's how you do this, here's how you do this, here's how you do this. We've been missing your position. Numbers are behind. Go catch up, and then I have to like sit there and just like take it all in all at the same time, and it's like, yeah, no, I felt that.
Yeah,
I felt that. I've been there, bro. That first day on the job, like, you're saying a lot of words to me really fast.
Yeah,
I can't take it.
Yeah,
man. The whole episode just felt tense, right? I mean, it's you've got just the constant threat and watch of the Empire within this prison, which was fascinating. By the way, I think just kind of seeing this. Essentially, like slave labor, like prison labor, like building the stuff for the Empire is really, really interesting. Yes, Brett.
Oh, it made me think of like America, like in terms of like the prison industrial complex, and then also like how you can if you go to jail, like you can be forced to like work and do like stuff. Like that's like not it's in the Constitution, like that. So that just made me think of like America, like a real world. So I was like, damn.
Yeah, there's definitely some real world parallels, and I think back to I think it's like episode 1 or 2 when we see Dedra talking to, I don't know his name, Lil Tarkin wannabe, how he like congratulates her, like, hey, your incarceration numbers are really good. Like, I might be giving you more of that work. That was just a cool little way that ties in, and again, yeah, speaks to the world building and what kind of universe this is and how the Empire runs. Something that I really liked, one was there's an Old Republic reference in this episode. Right at the beginning, when Andor's getting shuffled onto his transport to go to the prison, you got all these dope looking shore troopers be like, what's your name, you're going here, what's your name, you're going here. And the guy before Cassian, he's like, what's your name, where are you from? All right, you're going to Belsavis. Belsavis is a planet that you actually play in Star Wars The Old Republic. You actually get to go there. It's an old Rakatan Empire planet that's all like covered in ice by the time you get to it in Old Republic. So that's another sort of Old Republic reference that's just kind of sprinkled in here, and I love that.
And on top of that, Chris, what I wanted to say about that scene specifically is the music in that scene when they're telling Cassian where he's got to go, and the music's just like, it's not melodic or anything, it's just like a loud droning sound, and then it just cuts out. So good,
man. And then that reveal when they first get there, and they're like, take off your shoes, and I'm like, that's weird. I love his space joggers, though.
Yeah.
By the way, I love that it's straight up just cargo joggers that he's wearing. That's really,
I
really
thought
funny.
it was like just making sure you're not hiding weapons or anything in your feet.
yeah.
And
like,
then
literally,
the
it's no, you never get shoes
security
again.
and then the security cards come out in their ISB ones, right? And they shock the
They're
fuck out of
Yeezys.
it. Absolutely,
They're snowshoes.
And they shock the fuck out of everybody. I was sitting, I was like, holy shit! It was so visceral in a way that I wasn't expecting.
Just extra pairs chilling on the wall to flex on everybody, and they're just like, whoa, cool.
Yeah, just new drops just came out. Yeah,
Comfortable when they got shocked. I was like, oh my gosh.
I don't know if it was a cut or if they actually just moved that, but how fast they all jerk when it first hits. It shocked me.
And
No pun intended.
That was level 1 of 3.
I was gonna say that, yeah. Like, oh my god, dude. Like,
So level
What's gonna
level
happen if
3
they hit
is
3.
3. I assume
They
3
die?
is what they have like in the dorms,
the
and
cells.
they're like when the dude commits suicide. Which holy
Wild.
fuck! Like, this episode is crazy.
My favorite part about that is the dude like bites the bullet, like just freaking kills himself, and then somebody's like, "Oh, we'll be smelling him all night." It's just like, dude,
It's like,
come
goddamn.
on. Like it's happened before.
Well, and then I also love like their immediate turnaround to be like, shit, we're gonna be behind tomorrow, man.
Literally.
I was like, damn, dude, what a just oppressive place to live in. And then yeah, Diego Luna's performance, that you could just see like the anxiety and just the overwhelmingness of it all, just crushing on, like, incredible, absolutely incredible.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about Andy Serkis, second time in Star Wars.
Love him. So good.
Yeah.
So good.
What a performance! The performances throughout this show are amazing. I think there's so many amazing ones in this. But what fascinates me, though, and if we just kind of want to talk world building for a second, is that he's a prisoner there. He's a prisoner there who's close to getting out, and he's on them and hard because he's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. But it's so interesting to see somebody that is incarcerated as well, that's sort of like driving these dudes. It's not the Imperials that are really doing that. He's always like, do your shit.
Yeah.
I thought that was really, really interesting, and it looks like there's a point in the hallway where there's like two of them, because he like nods at somebody else that's coming by and inspecting everybody in line, and I'm like, what a fucking horrible system, bro.
So then he was like, I have like 200 something days left.
Mhm.
But then everyone else was like, yeah, they doubled all of our sentences. So either he had a really short sentence or they just doubled whatever days he had left.
Yeah.
That, or like, I
Either way,
assume,
that sucks.
I assume because he's kind of the one in charge, maybe that doesn't affect him. That way he can keep
Maybe.
like hammering down. Also, I'm interested to know what they're building, because it'd be interesting if
I was just gonna say,
I have
what
a
do you guys
theory.
think they're building?
if they're building Death Star.
Death
I was about to say,
Star.
dude, can you
Yeah,
imagine?
dude.
It's the show has been so great for building out more of stuff that we're gonna see in Rogue One. We'll talk about like Two Tubes and Saw Gerrera here in a minute. But like, just the additional like character level that gives to Cassian in the show, if he helped build this fucking death
yes.
machine, yeah,
Right.
and then it's like, yeah, no wonder he's willing to lay down his life to get rid of this thing. He helped make it. Like, I think
Yeah.
that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Also, Go ahead, Josh. Sorry,
I
I'll
was just gonna
make my
say,
point in a minute.
yeah, the fact that like he's seen firsthand the cost of it,
Mhm.
both mentally on these prisoners that are going insane and straight just killing themselves, and the physically with just how demanding it is. That would be such a fascinating chef's kiss way of just
Hmm.
having those two intertwined. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
it would definitely give more meaning to his motives in Rogue One for sure. But I noticed a couple of things in that prison, and also before, like they were all sent off in transports. I didn't see any women or aliens.
Yeah.
What if
Yeah, I
there's
noticed that
aliens in
too.
the food tube, you guys?
Oh
Probably
shit!
not, but what if there's aliens in the food tube?
Damn.
It's just
I
what's
wonder
the,
if they, I wonder if they split up like people by species and stuff to just make it easier to work.
Probably.
I
if you're
assume this one's
working with-
Because I
all
think
human males
canonically
because
they had.
on the
Go ahead.
planet we see a bunch of the prisons, the which all remind me of the Raft, by the way, from the
Literally,
Avengers.
I have that
I saw
written
that
down,
and was
Raft
like, oh, it's the
Raft.
Raft. But there's a bunch of them out there, and so I'm gonna assume it's like this one's male, this one's Andari, this one, whatever.
Right.
Um,
Wookiees.
Yeah. Well, we know how well the Wookiees probably do not get a prison. I would assume that because
get
he's a human
enslaved.
male, he's probably got it good compared to like aliens. Like we know how the Empire are
Probably.
with
The
aliens,
Empire's
but that is
horrible.
interesting.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say something. You pulled in. I was like, Josh got something big.
no.
All right, then moving on. So of course, we're gonna talk about my boy. Lies, deceptions. Saw Gerrera finally Gullet.
Forrest Whitaker finally doing a good job as Saw. Let's go.
Did you come here to kill me? Like, dude, I got so hyped when I saw my boy Two Tubes showing up right out there with this big fucking rifle and stuff. One of the coolest looking aliens in all of Star Wars. I will die on this fucking hill. He's so rad. And then, yeah, good performance. It's crazy what good writing can do for Saw Gerrera, right? Like,
Literally, yeah. Like
but-
I was writing something in my notes when that was so I have two monitors. So on my right monitor I had the episode up, and on my left I was typing notes. And as like two tubes came up, I'm like, I just stopped and I was like, yo.
Yeah, when it's like, it was like Luthen's like, all right, we're going to this planet. I was like, that's not a planet I recognize. And then my boy Two Tubes sitting over, I went, Two Tubes. I was like, yes. I want to hear him speak because he has such a cool sounding voice too, with the sweet like
dude.
vocabulary. But I love that whole scene there. It's one, I mean, it just builds off of what we already know of Saw Gerrera, of him like outright stating in that episode, he's like, dude, I work alone. Like I'm not interested in helping you help this other dude who was a separatist who made my life hell, which we've seen in the Clone Wars, right? Like it's like we've already seen how he feels about the separatists, and so he's like, I don't care what he's doing, I'm not gonna go help that fucker. Like no sale. Like go on. I really love that, but I also loved what Luthen said in the idea that he's like, yeah, he's trying to end the oppression of the Empire and rise up against it, but he's not a nice dude. Like his whole thing being, he's like, we got to make the Empire angry, so that way they step on the people to want them to rebel. Like he's out there to provoke the Empire, and I think that's really fast. He's not here to fight him. He's like, no, let's get them mad, and I think that's so interesting.
Yeah, that's especially when we've seen the Empire step on people like Andy Serkis's character to then get them to work, and like Luthen's tactics are very much the same. It's just different teams they're fighting for.
That's a really cool parallel, and I like that a lot. And I just love this like being able to every episode like see the consequences of the actions from previous episodes. I mean, the whole thing started because like Cassie and like murked these two dudes who were roughing him up a bit, in episode 1, and that kickstarted like a domino effect for everything else that we see in the show. But watching all of the people within the prison being like, did you hear about this Aldhani shit? And Cassian's like, no. And he's like, dude, that's why we're all stuck in here now. Like, it's like some of us were close to getting out, and now we're stuck here because this one fucker went and murdered a bunch of people on Aldhani. It's just absolutely fascinating. because again, I love something I think that I've been waiting to see in this show is Cassian's motive for joining the rebellion. Right? It's like he's out there to steal from the Empire to make money. He doesn't love the Empire, but also like whatever, he can live. It's that very like Generoso thing. It's just like not a problem if you don't look up.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we're slowly starting to see him being like, hey, this is fucked up. like you can't like we can't let the Empire do this to people. So I think this is the episode where we're gonna start seeing like him essentially like give it to the like give into the rebellion and being like, you know what, it's time to rise up against these dudes, and I like that a ton. While we're still in the prison, I also want to shout out our Glup Shido of the week. Our boy Melshi showing up, sitting there building, AT-AT feet or Death Star parts or whatever it is that they're making. I really hope it's AT-AT feet. That would actually be really cool.
Yeah.
Very, very foot heavy episode, So
real
it
footy.
Makes
Directed
sense,
by
yeah.
Quentin Tarantino.
Melshi, of course, is as we see in Andor or in Rogue One, Cassian's kind of like second in command is right lieutenant. He's the one that goes and picks up Jyn Erso in the beginning of the movie, and then also is leading the main strike force on Scarif later in the movie as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was really, really cool. I like when we get to see these sort of like minor characters go and have characterization built in something else, and it's used in such a way that it gives that connective tissue that makes sense, and also kind of retroactively explains like why he's involved in a lot of Cassian's missions in the movie too, which is really, really great. The whole show again reminds me of reading like a Star Wars novel, right? In the way that it takes these things that we knew and builds them out bigger, and so that we can go back and enjoy the movies with a new perspective on them, as the new canon is really particular, like really, really great about doing. And I'm just loving that, man. Like this is fleshing out the whole Star Wars universe in a way that I just didn't expect.
Right. Yeah, and it's like how like when you read a Star Wars novel, right? Like you can like the author usually tells you like what they're thinking.
Yeah.
With this show and the how well and articulate the writing is, you can Cassian might not be telling the audience how he's thinking, but you can tell by the way he's standing there and seeing everything operate in this jail slash work camp that he's like, oh my god, like I'm not having a great time. This shit's fucked up. Like something's got to be done, but he's not saying it out loud. He can convey that through Diego Luna's acting and also the writing.
Yeah, man.
Especially when they're like, "What are you in here for?" And he's like, "Nothing." And then you see that like long look he has of like, "Holy shit, I really have 1,200 days in here for fucking nothing."
Yeah, he's like, I genuinely didn't do anything, and I love that one prisoner was like
double the time for something.
Yeah, but specifically because of what he did. I did love the one prisoner also being like, he's like, "What are you in for?" Nothing. And he's like, "I didn't do anything." And he goes, "Yeah, there's a lot of that going around here lately."
Yeah,
it's
getting
again
a
just
lot of that lately.
just it's sad, man. Like it's genuinely sad.
Do you think he said that in terms of like he believes him, or that everyone's just trying to get out of like?
I took it as a way.
Responsibility.
I took it as reinforcing what we'd seen in the episode before of just like how hard the Empire is cracking down on anyone. We see like immediately after Aldhani is hit, like the ISBs all being like, "Hey, I don't care what they did, put him in jail."
Yeah,
playing music too loud,
like,
straight to
people
jail.
are getting arrested for BS, like no reason.
Yeah, it's that bit from Parks and Rec. Playing music too loud, straight to jail. Like it's just that, but in space.
Yeah,
that's how I took it. I could also see that though too, of people not, especially like Cassian, like not wanting to be like, "Yeah, I'm the reason you're all in here." He's like, "Oh yeah, I robbed Aldhani, whatever."
And now I'm eating food through a tube, and if we do well, we get flavor. Winner gets flavor, loser gets fried, baby.
Dude, I'd come out and just tell the truth at night when it's red hot on the floor and just be like, yeah, Aldhani Dawning was me, and then just motherfuckers tried to jump at you, but fucking just
Did that get
You have
at
to
Come
make
get
sure
me.
that, like,
Come get me
your
now.
bedmate is gone first, so there's no one behind you to like choke you out. But then what happens until morning? Like everyone looks at you and they're like, "All
Floor.
right," and they go
What are
to
you gonna do?
sleep.
Fuck me up on the floor and have Andy Serkis beat the shit out of you, dude?
Yeah,
Like you,
I
you
would
can't
just be
fuck with
like,
me.
I would just be like, it was me, and then swan dive into the hot floor head first. Get zapped.
I am so upset we didn't get to see Andy Serkis's ass. We were so close.
Well,
you know?
I'm cool with it, honestly.
We were so close,
we didn't
man.
get it.
Imagine Star Wars having 0 ass in it, and then this one episode, like hundreds of them. Just it would have been awesome.
That's one thing,
Man ass.
though. That's one thing, though, that I was happy to see. I mean, I'm all about like water conservation and everything, and
You're
so
all
seeing
about
a
group
bunch of
showers.
yeah, dude, seeing a bunch
Yeah.
of my boys showering together, I was
If
like,
there's one thing I love doing, it's bathing the way a head of lettuce would at a grocery store.
that's right, dude. With your boys.
It's the mist on everybody at once.
Oh yeah.
You can't reach behind the ears, so that's what your boys are for, man.
That's true.
That's true. Can you get this spot on my back, bro? I think I can't reach.
No, my
Yeah,
lower
yeah,
back.
yeah,
Lower.
no,
Lower.
lower.
Keep going.
lower.
Keep
Yeah.
going.
Look
Yeah,
over.
right
I
there.
see my
Beggars
homie,
Canyon.
rubbing one out. I'm like, let me help you out.
Do you need a
Yeah.
helping hand, bro? I'm just
Nice.
here. I'm here for you. You know, this is tough. Everyone's sitting there is like, man, Andor is really progressive.
I mean,
I was not
but
expecting
it
that.
is,
This
though,
is where the
because,
HBO show is really coming
I
out,
think
man.
we got confirmation this week that Vel and Cinta are together.
They are,
I thought we
and I
knew that
love.
before.
I think we did.
We did, but it was never like officially said.
I think
Like,
the
there was a
closest
lot of, like,
was
hints towards it. It
was
it
Arvel
really
skiing.
subtle.
Yeah, was Arvel telling.
They're sharing blankets or something like
Yeah,
that.
it is, yeah.
Bro,
He's
she
like, don't
picked
worry.
the mission over her, man.
She's dedicated,
Sucks.
bro, for the cause. For the cause, bro.
Right.
I'm curious to see if this whole thing between like Vel and Lieutenant Sintra ends up with like Vel like being part of like the breakout mission to get Cassian out. Like I know like they're here to kill him, but I almost wonder
Right.
if she'll be like no. Because we know he lives, right? Like
Right.
it's like whatever this mission is to kill Cassian doesn't work. We know that already. So I'm curious to see like
Yeah.
what goes down. Like who lives? How do they get out? How does that end up with Cassian in the rebellion? You know.
Yeah.
Something else that I love through this episode though that they've been doing really really well over the last few, but it's very prominent in this one is the stark contrast between all of these dudes. You know, building TIE fighter wings. Just you know, there's electric floors. They're eating aliens through tubes, and then hard cut to the fanciest party you've ever seen in a loft on
Yeah.
Coruscant. And these dudes fat and happy living it up. That whole bit. When we first see the party scene of Mon Mothma talking to a bunch of guests about the Emperor, and one of the guys being like, look, he just says what he thinks, man. He means what he says. I was like, I've heard so many fucking Trump voters say that exact same thing. I was like, God damn.
Stop drinking the booze with the fizzy gummy worms in it, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, this show is swinging.
Also, when she's like when Mon is like, do you feel threatened? And he just like avoids the question by making a joke. He's like, yeah, I feel threatened by more if I drink too many of these. And it's like, boo, answer the question, you jerk.
Boo, you
Yeah.
whore. Yeah, man, just that whole back and forth between like constantly seeing, I mean, you know, all of these politicians who are just so satisfied with essentially like stepping on top of all of the people that are oppressed and working on all this stuff, and Mon Mothma desperately just trying to get anyone to listen and agree to her, and they just refuse to because they're what's the quote, like so like fat and satisfied, like so they don't have to care. It makes Mon Mothma's husband infuriating to watch too, like his constant like ribbing at them.
100%.
Also, real quick, finding out that Mon Mothma was a senator at 16.
Damn.
Very much
That
like the Naboo
sucks.
people. They
very true.
They hire
very-
young, and then something that people had wondered about was in Legends old canon. It was she had an arranged marriage and it looks like they kept that storyline, which was really really interesting. I thought that was cool. I did also like the characterization of Mon Mothma's husband, whose name I cannot remember.
Is it Perrin?
Man Mothma, I told you.
Man Mothma.
Man Mothma.
Of her being like, hey, you didn't used to be like this.
Mhm.
I thought that was Perrin. Okay, cool.
It's like my name, but different.
Perrin Roots 427.
like that.
Bad, please no.
Don't like that.
Yeah, I think one of the most satisfying points of this show that's going to come, hopefully, is Mon Mothma pulling out her entire, wealth, taking that all out of the bank to herself,
Yeah.
and just abandoning these two. I can't wait for her dickbag husband and her scumbag kid to be left with nothing,
Hitting
dude.
him with a talk to the
So
hand, I'm out.
So-
Or
a fat fucking
what could
bitch
very well happen
notice.
is we might get like a Sopranos type situation where it's like, hey, we're leaving, let's go, and she's like, oh, I gotta talk to this person, and then they get in the limo, and the limo explodes.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
It was the driver the whole time.
I want them to suffer down on level 1313 in Coruscant, dude. Just kick them out where they belong with the scum, dude.
The scum with
Send
the
them to the
rats.
with the electric floor.
I love the subtle hints too. That is like they're clearly like setting up Perrin and Taya, I think her name is. I don't remember the kid's name. With Tay is the other Chandrillin dude. But they totally think Mon Mothma was having an affair, right? Like that's that's what they're setting up, because she's like, you're here a lot now.
Her husband's getting more and more short with her, like when that guy's around.
There's just so much sexual tension there,
Dude, I want them to
like-
fuck so bad.
Yeah, exactly.
I needed to have it on camera.
yeah.
In IMAX.
In IMAX, ultra wide.
Then you get like the special years from now, and somebody's like standing in front of the volume watching it, and they're like, I remember when I first saw Star Wars, and it's showing that scene. It's like I thought it was really cool, but I couldn't place why.
I was but a boy, only a child.
That day
Oh
I
my
became
goodness.
a man.
Their whole it's every scene that's got Mon Mothma in it is simultaneously like tense and frustrating, like all at once. It's
Yeah.
Every time I see her, it just reminds me of the first time that we see her when she's talking to Luthen, to where she's like, "I feel under siege." Yeah, it's like there's nowhere that's safe for me, and it's just they've done such an excellent job at showing us just like the pressure like slowly building and building to where we've already seen the breaking point too. Is we see in Rebels the point where she publicly comes out and is like, you know what, fuck y'all, I'm gonna go make the alliance of rebels, and then there's the whole chase throughout that and stuff. It's good shit, man. Good shit.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to see more of that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I should watch that show, huh?
Yeah, you really should, dude, because it's happening kind of at the same time as
episodes.
this.
I've seen a few episodes.
It's happening basically at the same time as Andor. I think there might be like some like weeks or months off, particularly in where it's at right now. We do know that again, this show is going to cover the span of like 4 or 5 years, I think. We don't know if that's. I don't think that's this season. I think there's probably just a gap between this and the next season, and the next season will kind of be a little closer to Rogue One, because Tony Gilroy was like, Rogue One's that's the final episode,
The finale.
Yeah. We also know that as far as season 1 goes, they've already come out and said, hey, the structure for this is we got another 3-parter story with the prison, and then a 2-part finale.
He just works the rest of it.
Yeah. That's it. It's just nothing else happens. It's episode 3, they're like, you did it. You can leave.
Yeah, it becomes one of those stories where it's like, guys, we gotta become number 1.
It's
like working super hard to like win every week.
It's like how there's an entire season of My Name Is Earl where he's just in prison and just trying to reduce the sentence. It's basically that for the next 3 episodes.
I want the next episode to have just a like an 80s like working montage of the Getter. It's playing like Hearts on Fire as they're like building and drilling and stuff.
There's like people like pulling chains and like lifting stuff up, and then there's a scene where like some guy is like super close to the camera and he's like pushing wires together and he goes "Boo," and he flies back.
Yeah.
He's got like soot on his face and all his hair is like sticking straight up.
Oh
The
yeah,
red-
absolutely. We all think it's gonna be a prison break, and what's really gonna happen? He's gonna serve us since episode 3. They'll be like, "You did it, good job. You can leave now. Bye bye."
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like, they're-
they announce like a competition where it's like winners get freedom, and they're like,
What? This is
It's
what we
like Cool
trained for.
Runnings.
They get out, and Melshi and Cassie, and they're like, "You want to go join the rebellion?" They're like, "Yeah," and they high five in midair and freeze. Right? That's where the show ends.
We should write a Star Wars movie.
Bro, we got this, man.
Let's do it. Let's put Cal Kestis in it.
Cal Kestis shows up and rescues Cassian.
shows up at the
Air. That's when he meets oh no, he meets BD1 in the game. Damn it. Shit. I tried, I tried.
It all fell apart.
Anyway, one last thing I wanted, just building off of the idea, is I'm curious if they'll ever confirm what it is that they're building within this prison or not. If they don't, that's not the worst thing in the world. But if it is Death Star related, I feel that's the stepping stone to seeing Krennic in this show, right? Even if it's only for like an
super
episode
cool.
or a scene. Like I don't need him to be an antagonist within the show.
Right.
But if he's in this prison making Death Star stuff and Director Krennic shows up to see what's how things are going, I might lose my mind.
That'd be crazy. I could see them holding off and doing that in like season 2, but I want it like right now because
100%.
Krennic was fucking awesome.
Because it would be really cool to almost have this like there was always a conflict between the two of them and neither of them really knew it until the end. I think that would be really really fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But also they could just not have Krennic in it at all and it would still work.
Exactly.
Right.
Who's Wolf reporting to? We get more Wolf in this episode.
There was
Could be
it's
Krennic.
like who
Boom.
could it who,
Done.
Send it
Made
to
the
the
ties.
presses. We
Made
figure
the ties.
we figure it out. The Krennic's going. Luthen's like, "Oh man, I better call Saw," and goes off and flies off.
Better
and then
call
as
Saw. Shit. Someone should Photoshop that. I will do it
100%.
myself.
yeah, I was waiting to use that one. I've got that. That's my very last note in here. Is better
Very
call
good.
Saw.
Very, very good.
I was like, how do I just work that in? Awesome. Well, that's about the whole episode for me. It's hard to again constantly just come up and like this isn't a show that theory crafts very well, and I don't hate it for that. I actually like really really love that it's
What are you
so
talking about, dude?
so
We did so
direct.
much theory.
I know
crafting today.
Cal Cast is showing up in the next episode.
And fucking Director Krennic is coming, and oh my god, dude, there's so much about to happen, man. You Star Wars
Call it
fans
Rags
not
to Riches
watching
story.
this are idiots. You need to watch this show.
This is the Waypoint. If you also think Cal Kestis is showing up in this episode, please drop a comment down below and tell us how much you want to see Andy Serkis's ass. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you at the next Waypoint.
Goodbye, America.